Hey, what's up everybody? Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Ditanium vaporizer. If you're new to my channel, thanks for stopping by. What I do is I review vaporizers kind of to my standard, I guess. It's nothing too in-depth. Just kind of go over some of the things I like and some of the things I don't. It's kind of, just my opinion. There's definitely nothing science to it, and there's definitely something I found is there's no perfect vaporizer for everybody, so bear with me because it's purely my opinion, and that's just kind of how I review things. So Puff It Up was very kind, Puff It Up, to loan me this Ditanium, and so I was going through and vaporizing with it, and I have a little bit of mixed feelings on it. Trying to think of the best way to go through it. Something I do like about it is the fact that because of the way it's covered, the heater's covered, if it did drop, if it did fall off a table when it was on, no hot surface should touch anything unless it's sticking up. There's definitely exceptions to the rule, but for the most part, it is a safe vaporizer in regards to if you leave it on and you walk away, if someone bumped a table or something, nothing too catastrophic should happen. But again, you should never just walk away from a hot vaporizer. I do like that the whip here, it does fit into a 14 millimeter, just from him, and that's really nice. You don't have to get a wire pipe adapter or anything like that. It just naturally fits in, which I think is a very smart idea. I don't love how it's a little difficult to load it. I wish there was kind of more of a funnel that you could use. I'm sure you could 3D print one, or somebody could, but it's a little tough to load, especially with the whip. And you would say, well geez, why don't you just take the silicone out and then load it that way? But it is a little tough to get the silicone back in. It's not something I would care to do every time. If it was as simple as just pulling it out and putting it back in, I would. But it's not that simple. So there is a drawback definitely there. But, I mean, it vaporizes well. I'm typically, if you look here, set that down so it doesn't spill. It's really hard to see any markings on here. There is a little notch here on the dial, and you just turn this up and down to get your heat. Typically around the noon to 3 o'clock position is where I would be, actually a little less, maybe the 2:30, and that's where I found I get some decent vapor. But the downside to vaporizers like this is you'll never get precise, accurate temperatures unless you really go above and beyond and you have ways to measure that. But it's kind of just guessing and fine-tuning where you think it should go, and that's not my favorite. That's probably one of the reasons that I don't love this vaporizer. I'm kind of on the fence with it because that style just isn't something I really love to begin with. But another thing is that the button comes off super easy. I mean, you just pull it right off, and then you gotta kind of figure out where to situate it again, how it went on to give you the right spot on the dial, and I definitely don't love that. I wish that'd be fixed. But yeah, let's vaporize with it, and I'll kind of show you the performance. I would do a full pack. Another thing about this that's a little disheartening is I get mixed results with it. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, that was a really potent hit, that was fantastic. And other times I get no vapor at all. And I have to keep turning it up until I kind of find where I need to be. And I have a lot of vaporizers that just isn't the case. I can, put it on 360 and still get great vapor. And it's kind of fun to be able to set low temperatures and still get good vapor. So let's give this a go and see if it does anything for me. Like I say, you want to pack this one full. I tried to microdose, and the way I use it, it just doesn't work. Maybe if you turned up the heat a bit it would, but I just didn't care to go that far. So there you go. No vapor. I'm at the probably 2 o'clock. I'll keep going a little bit and see if I can't start it up. You know, with convection like this, it's not always gonna be instant vapor. So I'm starting to get some flavor, starting to get some terps, but still nothing. Just a little bit of vapor now. You know what, let's put it through here so I can see the vapor being created. Just a little bit, starting to warm up, but the flavor's kind of going downhill for me. It's getting a little harsh almost. A little bit there. Not bad. It's at the very, you know, the bare minimum's a little on vapor. But I guess my frustration lies in the fact that I've put it less than this and I've gotten fantastic vapor. Very strong vapor, almost turning it down. I turned it down all the way to the 12 o'clock position, still got vapor, and that's where I was like, oh man, this is really great. And then I went to duplicate that. Grind was the same, nothing had really changed, and I got nothing kind of like that, just very wispy hits, and that's frustrating. I own a few vaporizers that's the case. You kind of feel it in your throat and you feel like you're getting a good hit, and you exhale and there's no vapor. So for that reason, really, this isn't a vaporizer that I love. There's plenty of people who have success with it. This isn't me trying to bash the company or the vaporizer, really. I've met the guy who created the vaporizer at the Champ show. He's a great guy. I feel customer service would be top notch if you did get it. But it's just not something I love. It's not something that I, you know, would find myself using daily as much as I want to. When it hits the way I want to hit and everything kind of just falls into place, if you will, it's amazing. I really do like it. It's strong, powerful hits. You know, it's a hard hitter, but it's just so fickle. With one time I need to turn it up more, and then you got to wait for it to warm up and get kind of heat soaked. And the next time, you know, it's with a lower temperature, it hits just fine. I don't really know that I could probably work out the bugs a little more, but I don't know that I really want to, in a sense. It's not, you know, something that I care to just sit and tweak with until I get it right for every occasion. Another interesting thing when it is microdosed, about down to here or so, for whatever reason, there's a little bit of a vortex that gets created in there when you're inhaling, and it'll actually, I've pulled hard enough that it actually pulled a decent size into where the heater is. I don't think there's really anything wrong with that, but definitely something very strange, something I didn't love. I asked about it and didn't really get the response I got back was basically he hadn't heard of that happening. I showed a video to Zach from Puff It Up of it doing it, and he said he thought he had a fix, but I never heard much more on that, which is okay. I'm not waiting on it or anything like that. So yeah, it's definitely interesting. It's it's a vaporizer that, again, I think works really great for people. And if that's the style of vaporizer you enjoy, then this is a good one. You can dab off of it. The heating element's bulletproof. It's a ceramic rod, I believe. And there's really nothing to it. I mean, it's pretty bulletproof in that regard, so I do love the durability. Again, I wish I just got more consistent results with it. I wish there would be some, markings of some kind on here to kind of give you a good indicator of, hey, this is where it's probably a little too hot for flower, and if you pull it down this far, it's a little too cool. You learn that on your own, but some people just don't want to take the time to learn that, and I don't blame them. I'm partially that kind of person. But if this is something that you think would work for you, I definitely don't think that it's a mistake to buy it. But just be kind of ready for the learning curve that comes with it and kind of fiddling with the dial. But if that's the way that you like to do things and you like to experiment like that, it is a great vaporizer for that. Again, as I said, I think it's pretty bulletproof vaporizer. I wouldn't see much issues with this or things going wrong. Longevity, I don't know. But again, it just wasn't consistent enough for me. And, that's the reason that I am saying the things I am. Again, it's not really to bash anybody. It's not to, say, oh, make a better product. Because it just doesn't work for me. And that's completely fine, because what works for me works for other people and vice versa. There's something for everybody out there. So definitely look into it, if nothing else. Again, I hope this opinion helps you and helps you kind of figure out if you would really want it or not. Again, it's just an honest opinion. It's not going after anyone or trying to prove a point. I'm just stating, how I feel about it. But thanks for joining me. I'll definitely be doing some more reviews, and I hope you guys join me for all that. Thank you.